Yeah, I'm sorry, Markiplier fans. This is not your day today. And I am one of those people as well. I grew up watching Markiplier. In fact, I'm pretty sure the Five Nights at Freddy's series that he did literally introduced me to both him and Five Nights at Freddy's. I would watch his videos every single day. I loved the guy as much as a high school kid could love a man. And so when this video was released by the Bones 5, did Markiplier cheat in his FNAF 2 1020 win? I was like, pooey, disgusting. I'm not even going to watch this video. Anyway, after watching the video, yeah, turns out he cheated. You know, this is going to go down almost, not quite, almost as bad as the Dream scandal. Remember the whole Dream thing where it was like, I pinky promise, I cross my fingers and promise. Actually, that breaks it, but I pinky promise that I didn't cheat. Anyway, turns out he did after a huge statistical analysis. Yeah, it's literally like that. It's rough. So, this video breaks down, and I would absolutely recommend watching it because it is a really, really good video, which is mainly more so even about the FNAF mechanics than Markiplier himself cheating, and it's just such a good read. But it breaks down the whole evidence for as to how Markiplier may have, and it alleges it, but look, looking at it, I'm almost certain that he did do it. How he went about cheating. And I want to explain it to you as well, because it's actually really interesting how to tell. And it's a good way of working out how people cheat in these sort of things. So in his original Five Nights at Freddy's 2 1020 mode video, Markiplier split the thing into clips. It wasn't one long continuous cut like a lot of videos are nowadays and streams. It's edited into different segments, right? I'm gonna leave this clip running while I talk about this. Notice the top left. Look at the very top left of his hair, right? There is one transition, and this is the last transition before he goes to 5 a.m. and does a full amount of recording. Notice how that strand of hair appears. That's important for later. But this 5 a.m. segment of the run is really interesting because there is no presence of any of the toy animatronics, and there's no audible signs of Balloon Boy or Mangle. Now, if you watch the Bones 5 video, he statistically works out that the chances of not hearing any sign from Balloon Boy or Mangle, and I'm talking audible, like walking through the vents or hearing Balloon Boy, I think his giggle or something, or him showing up, the odds of them having no presence whatsoever in that tiny segment of the clip is 1 in 16,384. That's already pretty small odds, but it's not impossible. However, remember, that's just for Balloon Boy and Mangle. So there's also the 3 other toy animatronics, which would make these odds astronomically lower. But as we've seen from the whole Dream drama, you're gonna need a lot more than, oh, it's just really low odds, because some, like, kids just, their brains, like we saw with the Dream thing, they cannot comprehend large numbers. Oh, 1 in 300 billion chance? Pfft, that's probably gonna happen at some point in this guy's video. Yeah, easy peasy. No, there's more to it as well. And it comes back to the hair clip moment. Check this part of the video out.
And if you look really, really closely at the top left corner of Mark's hair, you can see this tiny strand that pokes out and casts a pretty noticeable shadow on his forehead. And we see this across all of these suspicious clips. 18, 20, 35, and 37. You can even see in transitions, like clip 35 to 36, how it disappears then reappears on the transition to clip 37.
Yeah, so either Markiplier's got some really rare male pattern baldness, or he's jumping between time on these clips. And what's likely happening here, and what the Bones 5 suggests is the actual case, Markiplier has gone and done an easier run that he is then spliced into the earlier parts of the video to make it seem more authentic. So, and we'll get onto this, but basically Markiplier is doing the 420 run, where it's just Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy, the original 4, on level 20, but none of the others. So none of the toys, no Balloon Boy, and no Mangle. So that run was the one that he won on. And then he spliced that run further into earlier parts of the video. And the reason that the Bones 5 suspects that it was 420 mode that Markiplier did is because of this reaction.
To me, what's so weird is how Mark reacts when he sees the 3rd star. You see that he pauses for a moment, sees the star, then pops off even more than he already was.
The crazy part is, you don't actually get that star from 1020. You only get it from doing 420. So if you don't do 420 and then you do actually beat 1020, you still don't get that star. You get something else. You get the golden Freddy plushie, which appears on your office desk, which, by the way, Markiplier doesn't show. The only thing that he does go on to show is this menu. It's another transition to the custom night menu here, where you see that there is the golden Freddy thing on the bottom. But the thing is, and as the Bones 5 points out, that is very easy to edit in. You just got to go into the FNAF 2 game file, change one variable in Notepad, and boom, you've done it. And I want to point out that you can see Markiplier die here at this point in his video, and he's only got 2 stars. So unless, for some reason, he just decided, you know what, I got to get a win. I'm going to go do 420 mode, not tell anyone about it, then come back and then complete 1020 mode and not having any of the footage from 420 mode in there. And then suddenly pretend that he saw the new star for some reason. He cheated. So yeah, I absolutely think that he cheated in the FNAF 2 run. But it is really important to point out here a couple of things. Firstly, he didn't in the original FNAF 420 mode and in the harder sister location one. We don't know about the others because they were also a bit edited when it came to those sort of cuts. But in those ones, he showed the entire night happening and it all looked authentic. And again, sister locations was harder. So why would he cheat in this one and not the sister location one? Well, my theory is that at the time, Five Nights at Freddy's, I don't think was still as, it was nowhere near as big as it was, right? And I don't think Markiplier even thought that he would be the biggest when it comes to this sort of thing. So to him, it was more of a normal game at that time. And as a content creator myself, and I literally, right now, as we speak, I am doing the deltarune Roaring Night run, and I am losing my mind doing it, right? I'm spending hours and hours. I think I filmed 3 videos, each of them an hour long, maybe even 4, trying to beat the Roaring Night, and I just haven't been able to. So imagine if I had a schedule where I've got so many different horror games to try out, so many different more games to play, and I'm stuck on the Roaring Night. Well, you know, if I were him, the good thing is I don't have a schedule. If I were him, that's what I do, right? Because he's an entertainer, right? He's meant to entertain, and he needs to get onto other things because he doesn't know that Five Nights at Freddy's is going to be huge at the time. So he just goes about and edits it and cheats in order to get onto the next thing because, you know, he's got a schedule to maintain. And I can see that, and I can absolutely see that happening. And this does make it a bit different as well from the Dream situation, because some people are going to be like, oh, why aren't people calling out Markiplier as much as they did Dream? And the main part is that this wasn't competitive, right? This wasn't a competitive run or anything. He wasn't posting this on any leaderboards, blah, yada, yada. Dream, he was going for an actual leaderboards on the speedrun community, which is basically like doing drugs in professional sports. So I think there's a big difference there. And on top of that, Dream did not help his situation by actively refusing that he cheated at all. Whereas, to be fair, Markiplier hasn't said anything. So maybe we'll make an update video when that comes out. But that's why I think the situations are a little different there. But you know what I am upset about? I'm upset about his community. Someone 2 years ago, the Weeb Skeptical, posted on Reddit, I think Markiplier faked his completion of 1020 mode, and he had a lot of similar points, and he pointed out a lot of things. And guess how the community reacted? And of course, this is such a Reddit thing. I can feel the sweat coming from their neckbeards, man. That guy goes on to try and counterprove it, but this guy's like, you really should have looked over this post before deciding to post it. This guy's, what is Blood yapping about? Are you jealous that you can't beat the challenge yourself? What you said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent posts were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this subreddit is now dumber for having read it. I award you no upvotes and may Scott have mercy on your soul. Edit, I'm a dumbass. Yeah, so I love that sort of thing. He literally edited that 1 day ago. Oh my God. Oh, it feels so good to be proven right. And so I hope that this guy actually sees it and can come back and feel good about that. But God, like, there's the problem when it comes to fan communities where they can never think that a creator can do wrong. You saw it with the Dream thing. That was the most gross part as well. People were just they're putting their own lives at stake basically for it. Like, they'd jump in front of a car if it meant that Dream wouldn't take these accusations of cheating. It makes me mad, man. It makes me mad. This guy, look, 0 upvotes. He should have been, they should have looked into it. And then they come up with all these crazy excuses, even though it's really obvious. That just gets me. But I want to know, I still love Markiplier. He's still one of my top 10 content creators, you know, one of the goats of all time, if that makes sense. And yeah, anyway, the comments in the video are absolutely hilarious. The suspicious hair strand of 1020. Release the 1020 files. The hair strand of 87. The evil and cunning hair strand of diabolical truth. These are just so good. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video.